We have a very special guest today, as I promised. Mr. Bahari is an accomplished Indian Trade Service Officer. He's the Assistant Director General of the Foreign Trade, DGFT. He's a BTech graduate in mechanical engineering from the IIT Madras. He excelled in the CAT 2017 with a 99.76 percentile. But he chose to pursue public service through the UPSC Civil Service Examination. His professional journey includes specialized training at prestigious institutions like the WTO, and the UNCTAD in Geneva, providing him with a deep understanding of global trade. So, beyond his career, Mr. Baharni is a talented singer, a pianist, and a table tennis enthusiast. So you can be very successful and you can also have fun. Both can happen there. So in this session, we're going to be exploring strategies for managing stress, effective exam preparation, and drawing from his diverse experiences and inspiring personal journey. So without further ado, everyone, can we give a little welcome? Throw in the chat. Give me a welcome in the chat. Let's welcome Mr. Baharni. Mr. Baharni, can you please turn your camera on? And let's throw a hi in the chat, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian, so much for that introduction. Just a small correction. You were saying that people can be successful while also having fun. I would like to put it slightly differently. People can be successful only if you have fun.
Yes. I love that.
In fact, when I possibly show the sample schedule or the kind of timetable that people follow, I'll show a sample of mine. You would see that out of probably 10-15 hours, 8 to 9 hours is dedicated just for leisure and fun activities. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for having me. Hi everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're all doing well. First of all, kudos to you for joining, at 7 p.m. on a weekend. I understand how that must be. I'll give you a small introduction about myself. Is my audio fine, Brian?
Yep, we hear you perfectly.
Yeah. Okay.
And real quick before we begin, can I just get everyone to turn on their mics and just say hi to everyone? Let's hear. Everyone just say hi to Mr. Baharni.
Hello.
You can turn on your mics.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
I'll give a very quick introduction about myself, a little beyond what Brian had given, and then we'll move to probably the main topic for discussion today. Yeah, hi, I'm Bharani. I'm from Hyderabad. I was born and brought up here in Hyderabad. I did my schooling as well from here in Hyderabad, from the DAV. How many of you are from DAV here? Please just put it in the chat. Hi to all the DAV community. And I passed out in the year 2009. And I was always a math lover. So my obvious love for math and science took me just in one direction, the IIT JEE. So 2009 to 11, I had prepared for the IIT JEE. And I cleared the IIT JEE in 2011. That's when we had just one exam. And fortune had me that I was able to get into IIT Madras. So I pursued my mechanical engineering, both BTech and NTech from IIT Madras. Graduated in the year 2016. And after I had graduated, I worked in the private sector for about a year and a half. And to be very honest, I hated the experience there. I didn't really like it. I switched 3 jobs, in fact, in a span of 1.5 years. Wasn't my calling. So that's when that was a period of introspection for me. I sat down and really decided on what I wanted to do. And always the self inside me would say, I mean, public service is where you have to go. And it so happened that in 2017, I also cleared the CAT. How many of you know what CAT is?
Show of hands. Who knows what cat is? Can anyone? Yeah. Aeon, can you tell us what is it? Aeon? Aeon? I think you're still muted.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. What is the cat? And it's not an animal that runs outside.
The CAT exam is basically its full form is the Common Admission Test. It is a computer-based test for graduate management programs, I think. Am I correct?
Okay, it's here. Is that
Can I
correct?
be a little more?
He's perfect.
Oh, wait, we got some more.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Someone else wants to add something. Nived.
Yeah, cool. All right. So, the CAT exam basically, it's for these graduate programs which are there, like mostly there for MBA or like for PG. So, the CAT exam is what takes you to the IIMs of India, like IIM Bangalore or IIM Bodh Gaya or something like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think people over here are fairly aware at their ninth and 10th grades itself. So that's right. So the CAT usually gets you admissions into tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 MBA colleges. I mean, they call it the postgraduate program and management, the PGDM. So I happened to get into IIM Calcutta as well, but I opted out of it, and I decided that I would be preparing for the civil services exam. And so in 2018 and 19, I took 2 years off to prepare for the exam. In 2020, I got through, and so I'm here today in a service called the Indian Trade Service.
Sorry
So
about that.
Sandeep, you
Yeah.
want to ask something?
No, it was just some background noise. Sorry, please continue.
Yeah. So after I finished my training, I'm currently posted in Hyderabad in the field office of the DGFT. I'm of course due to move to Delhi in a couple of months. So that's about it about me. Any specific things that you would like to know before I proceed on some aspects of my personal life?
I see we have some questions. Navid, did you have a question still?
Yeah. Yeah. So, how did you become a bureaucrat?
How did I become a bureaucrat? I gave the civil services exam.
Cool.
So I'm not very sure if you know what the civil services exam is. There's
The
a
UPSC, right?
yeah, the UPSC. So I cleared the UPSC CSC in 2020. I mean, I gave the 2019 exam,
Cool.
and yeah, I got into one of the civil services. Yeah.
So, what I was going to do is that I might do either law or international relations, hoping to become a diplomat. So I'm not so sure about do I need to do UPSC or not, because I might have to take a gap year for that and stuff.
You're in what grade right now?
11th.
You're in the 11th grade?
Yeah.
And so you intend to opt for the Indian Foreign Service, if I'm not wrong. That's what
Yeah,
you're doing?
I want to become a diplomat. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, see, as of today, the route to get into the Indian Foreign Service is through the civil services exam. I mean, there's no other way. Uh, there's very, very little scope for lateral entry, if any. By lateral entry, I mean you could be working somewhere else, right? As an academic or somewhere in the private sector and then enter.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are remote, those are rare cases, those are very, case-based kind of appointments. But the general route to get into the Indian Foreign Service, see, it's considered a very, very prestigious service, to be very honest. And you will have to be amongst the top rankers to get into the Indian Foreign Service. So the civil service is the way ahead as of now. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so what I did.
I understand that the ratio is small, but it is how it is. Yeah.
And how would I join?
Sorry.
How would I join the civil service? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, yeah, another question. Sorry.
Yeah, Nivet, another
Yeah.
question, and I want to move on to Aditi
Yeah, sure.
after.
So the thing is that I'm in an international school, so I've not done Hindi for UPSC. So I think you got to pass out of 10th with Hindi to appear for UPSC. Is there something like that?
No, there's no requirement for you to pass out of Hindi or something like that. But there is a mandatory language test that you have to give. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, two language papers are there. One is English, the other is any language in the 8th schedule. Hindi is one such language. You could possibly give one of your regional languages also, and there is it is not counted for the final evaluation, the language papers, but it's that you have to cross a 33% threshold. It was 33% then. I mean, it's like a qualifier.
Cool. All right. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
I'm curious, how many people here speak more than 2 languages? Could you put in the chat? I'm just curious. How many people here speak 3 or more languages? Wow. Someone says they speak 4 languages. Oh my God. 3 languages. Wow. 4 languages. Miss Marty, how many languages do you speak? I'm curious.
English, Hindi, and Telugu are, I mean, are kind of native for me.
Yeah.
But because I was also in Chennai for a fair bit of time, so I can kind of manage with Tamil. I'm not good at it, but I can understand Tamil. So let's say 4.
Oh, wow. That's what I think is so amazing about Indian students compared to American students. Most American students, we speak English and a very little bit of Spanish, French, or Italian. A very little bit, not enough. But then all of you guys here speak 3, 4. Someone said 7 languages?
Yeah. So,
Wow.
yeah, my 7 languages are Hindi, French, English, Kannada, Malayalam, Spanish, and Tamil.
Oh my God. And I
Yeah.
just saw Vipulin. You said 10? Where is Vipulin? He's cooking? Vipulin, are you with us?
Um, Sorry to interject. Cooking is a Gen Z term for doing something really great or doing something really well.
Thank you for clarifying. I wasn't sure. I was like, you're a chef as well?
Yeah.
Amazing. Awesome. That's really exciting. I want to hear from, I know a few more people have their hands raised. Aditi, do you have a question or
Yeah, I did have a question. Hi,
please?
sir. So, being someone who's like cleared so many competitive exams with like really high, like really low acceptance rates, what was your driving factor? Like, what was your why that made you persevere with to give these exams despite the odds?
Hmm.
See, with respect to IIT JEE, it was, let's say, partly inertia because right from school days, very honestly, I was quite good at math. Okay, and therefore, I was kind of looking for a trajectory where I would excel with regards to math. Am I audible?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking at a trajectory that will, put my let's say areas of strength to good use. And the obvious choice over there was the IIT. And therefore, I started preparing for the IIT well before I passed out of school, to be honest. So in my 8th, 9th, and 10th grades, I would do weekend coaching classes that would serve as some kind of foundation for the IIT itself. So that once I'm preparing for the IIT full time, which is your 11th and 12th grades, right? I would, not come in as an outsider to the system, but I would, let's say, have some bit of a head start there. That was the idea. With respect to CAT, let me say that that was one of those exams that I just gave out of peer pressure, right? And that is the reason I eventually didn't go uh, to the IIM, even though I got the admit. Civil services was primarily my inner calling. Like I said, the work in the private sector that I did was also something that I really did not like. And I mean, something inside me told that you do not belong in the private sector as an employee. And that I should be doing something that where I can directly impact public life, right? So I mean
Hmm.
that let's say that foundation got built through my 5 years at the IIT, as well as got strengthened when I was working in the private sector. I mean, that was the kind of the clinch moment when I said, yes, this is what you should be doing.
So, my question is, in this tech world, right, my daughter's interest is more into management. We were planning to, after 11th and 12th, we were planning to put her into management course. But because of this AI and lot of uh, uh, noise about AI, and also I'm worried like management will hold ground after 5 years, or 5 to 6 years, or 8 years down the line. I'm like little worried about that, like because she's very much interested in management, and she likes to open her own business and her company. But uh, I mean, I just wanted to know like how management is good for kids, maybe after 2, 3 years or 4 years.
Management as a core discipline, you mean you wanted to put her in BBA? Is that
BBA or MBA.
okay?
But that will take obviously like from now, if she is in ninth grade right now, going in 10th. So for if we go for MBA, which she is quite interested, and even for me, even I'm interested to put her, but then it will at least take 8 years, like 5 to 6 years at least.
Hmm.
So I'm seeing a lot of, like I'm just worried and I'm confused. Like, is it a good career option to go for? Or because she has inclination, or maybe she should think some more options for career in future. So because 11, 12 is something which should not get wasted. If you are into management, you should have that, mindset that, yeah, I want to go in management. Or if you're going in science, you should have that mindset so that 2 years doesn't get wasted. So I'm thinking like, what is it a good thing, or she should go for, she should have some more options like science or commerce also.
See, personally, my view here is there's no such thing as a good thing. There's a good thing for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, fundamentally, it's about what she wants to do. If she wants to open her own business, then BBMBA will be a very good line. With respect to your concerns about AI, if she's really into that field, she will definitely figure out. Because take, for example, the entire IT sector today,
Mm-hmm.
we do not know what is going to happen to them with respect once there's the advent of AI, right? But people are just figuring out, people are upscaling. That sector will continue to stay. Likewise, if somebody is invested mentally in that particular area, they will just figure it out. I do not know what nature of that business, or how is it that they will actually end up living their life.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want to be there, they will definitely figure it out. So I mean, on that front, I don't think there should be concerns per se. And having said that, I think it's a very good domain if that is what she wants to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, great questions we're having. I got a few more hands raised. Let's hear from Anjali. Anjali. Anjali, you with us? Okay, while she's figuring that out, let's go to Neha. Neha, so you
Hi.
had a question?
So it's a little impersonal. So, as a bureaucrat, what would you say these young teenagers, how can they be more socially responsible and contribute to society at their level?
At some level, if somebody is a taxpayer, then they are contributing to society already. So they can just live their lives and still contribute to society. If they're buying something, they're paying GST, right? They're contributing to society. So just being a normal citizen, also you're contributing to the society. I mean, nothing beyond that. Then there is the additional levels of responsibility. For example, maintain your neighborhood well, right? Be clean, don't litter. As simple as that.
Right.
Then there are next levels as well. You could probably do social service. You could run a business and employ 1,000 people. That's far more social service, or public service than any IAS sitting in an office could do. Again,
Right.
being impersonal. So yeah.
Maybe volunteer with local, bodies if they're around, things like
At
that.
their level, but I mean, in fact, this was some of the questions that were asked in UPSC.
Okay.
Somebody is a taxpayer. Are they not contributing to the government treasury, and by way of it to the running the country in general? Everybody is a public servant. Yeah.
Cool, thank you for the question. Let's hear from Anjali. I think you're back with us. Perhaps on the run right now. Are you able to talk? I think you're still muted. We gotta unmute you if that helps.
Yeah, am I audible now?
You are, yes.
Yeah, so I was just hearing to the parents, and they were concerned about, I mean, so am I being a parent, to how to identify the strength of the child, since even my child is in grade 9. So, my question to you is, I'm hearing to answers what Mr. Bharani and Mr. Brian are saying, but how is Growth Valley contributing to this question? As in, are you guys able to identify the strength of the children? Strength of the students? I mean, I know that the objective is to target the students like a club where they are learning all the 21st century skills, collaboration, communication, critical thinking, creativity.
Mm.
But having said that, I mean, these skills are definitely good to go for the next couple of years. I mean, since we are living in a tech world. But my question is, how is Growth Valley contributing to identify the skill? Because not every child can be an entrepreneur, right? Not every
Yeah.
child can do make a startup. I mean, I know for the fact that when my son showed me the concept of clothing brand, that the launch that happened, the product launch, I was to be honest, I wasn't that convinced, because I told him, like, I mean, and he was chosen and he was awarded, and I think he became the prefect also. But again, I was not convinced with the idea that how will you sell. I mean, I had a couple of questions. So my main question is, how are you identifying these skills? Because I think that every parent right now in near future wants to understand the fact that what will my son do when he, after 12th, right? So how
Yeah.
are you able to identify it?
Yeah,
Every
that's
student
great
cannot be an
questions.
entrepreneur, right?
Great questions. Yeah, every student can't be an entrepreneur, nor do they want to, per se.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct.
I love this question because I do team building events and I go into companies.
Hmm.
I've worked with Amazon and Twitter here in the States. And some people would be like, why would you come in and teach, improv? Well, how is that going to help? Improv comedy. How would that help managers and executives interact with each
Hmm.
other? And putting your child in different situations where they're working on their confidence, public speaking, critical thinking in non-traditional ways that they do in school is going to help them in so many different aspects, right? When they're coming in here and they're collaborating and they're coming up with app ideas, or talking with like Harvard psychologists on different aspects of mindset, they're being exposed to different things, and these all things, they shape your students and how they grow and how they develop. You have someone like Mr. Baharni here speaking about his experience and how he overcame and shifted gears. The mindset of that, you do one job your whole life and that's it, is very outdated, right? Um, Speaking from personal experience, I used to be an account executive at Yelp in America before I shifted into coaching myself. He himself has had so many different career paths where he shifted. And entrepreneurship, going back to original question, you need different skills, right? You
Hmm.
hear stories like Steve Jobs dropping out of university
Hmm.
and starting Apple. But what you
Hmm.
also don't realize from that story is where he got the idea for creating Apple and the type interface on how beautiful it's going to look was from a class he took in
Wow.
university. That one class started an idea. That idea led to him developing Apple.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, like, okay, I need to measure these skills right now. What is the point? How is this affecting it? How is this improving it? But what you don't realize is that that one idea is sort of like it's like a fire. It's like a spark that starts a sense of creativity, that starts a sense of confidence, and you don't know where that's going to lead. But if we try to force it too much and say it has to lead this way, it has to go this way, we don't allow our kids or your children to have that sense of creativity, spontaneity, which leads to entrepreneurship or having a career they like, right?
Hmm.
Again, not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. It's a hard life, and some people love it, some people don't. But having these skills of confidence and to ultimately to think for themselves, because as parents, you guys won't be there forever, right? You want your children to be able to think for themselves, give back to society, and build lives that they're ultimately happy to live. Um, so that's how I'd answer that, if that helps.
Yeah, it does. It does. So basically, we are like on the way. We still don't know where's the end, actually. I was asking RAV the other day, Ki, when is going to be end? I mean, what is going to be the dead end of this course? I mean, everything has an end, right? Everything has a
Mm,
beginning, everything has an end. So what is the objective? So he just told me, Mama, I'm just learning skills.
And don't ask me
Yeah,
any other question. I think I'm only learning skills. And the best part is I'm collaborating with people. So, being a traditional Indian mother, the only concern is what will my son do after 12th? So that is the only concern. But yes,
sure.
I think you answered my question. Thank you, Brian. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and absolutely. Yeah, and I love that question too, especially what you said after. What would the end result be? It's sort of like asking if you go to the gym, what's the end
Yeah.
result? It's not like
Yeah.
you go to the gym once and you're like, I've got the best body ever. I'm gonna go eat whatever I want now. No, no, no. It's a lifelong thing. Ideally, after this, they're continuing doing some sort of environment, some sort of community. One of the most important things about getting an MBA or getting your master's, it's not what you learn there. It's the
Hmm.
interactions you have with other students. That's what becomes the most valuable thing is the network you form, right? I'm sure as parents, you know this in terms of the school and the environments you're putting them in. But yeah, I'd love to hear also from Mr. Baharni too, some of your insights that you have on that questions or some of the questions other parents have had.
No, with respect to Growth Valley community, I think you've told it right. But yeah, I completely agree that though not an entrepreneur myself, there cannot be like a start date and end date when it comes to entrepreneurship, right?
Hmm.
You're creative all life, right? So more than anything else, I also see this as a very good platform for socializing with kids of the right age group. And I think that is where the real spark with respect to a new idea or something can come from. So look at it as a very good social platform as well. That's what I would say.
Yeah, very good. Um, awesome. I love to hear. I think we have another parent who has their hand raised. Mr. Upasana.
Yeah, hi, Brent, once again. Yeah, just to add what Miss Anjali was saying, see, so I think what I would like to add to this is probably we as parents would also like at the end of the day to have some of our ideas of our children come to fruition. Yeah, wherein we can see something, like supposedly they are in the group, they are in the room, they are discussing, mind boggling. But yes, it will be really happy for us that even if it does not, go a long way or whatever, but we would see, yes, this is the idea of this child. So probably you can take it as a feedback and come up with something like this probably 6 months down the line. And I read in the group as well, you're probably taking the kids to some meet some startup where you'll be talking about the projects or something. So I think that can because um, it's not about starting and end, it's about we have to understand our journey as well.
Yeah.
So that journey always has some milestones.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
if
agree
we
to
have,
Miss Upasana. Agreed. I mean, that is what I'm trying to say. Okay, they have done
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Now, when I read in the group that they're doing to do something offline,
yeah.
getting up an idea, appreciating the idea, coming up with it, but what next? So when I think Sahaj wrote that he is taking some online things and children will be meeting the founders and the startup. So I was like, okay, fine. Now, there is it. We have find something.
Yeah. Because when I joined this program, but I would definitely like to appreciate, it's just the second class of my son, but I can see the kind of effort you take in, the kind of involvement you're involving children plus parents, encouraging them, opening up, because that is very much required. Somewhere we all are having same thought process, but we are going in cocoon because there are a lot of things going on. It's as the options have increased, and so is the confusion. It was rightly said by, I think, Miss Urvi or some other parent, or Miss Newton, I think. So because this is the happening, so this is a very good platform. But having said that, yes, this kind of something which we can, because when I joined, I was looking for some profile building of my child, and so if the child has some ideas, and if you get some that push, I spoke to Mr. Sahaj is also about the same thing, then it will be an icing on the cake. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
the same feedback was given to Mr. Sahaj yesterday that you should focus on the unique needs of each and every child so that you can give some personalized touch to each child because every child is different and their
Right.
interest is different thing. And in that age, they want someone so that they can guide. Yeah, either we go to the counselor or some
Right.
mentors. So this is, I think, the same thing you guys also doing, mentoring and building the skills together.
Correct.
That was my question, because being a engineering student and then management student, I'm still learning, because I've just started my startup, and I'm still learning some small steps like Tally, Excel. I'm refreshing myself. So that is the thing. I don't want our kids to go to that thing. That was my question actually. So that you can take as a feedback from us. Yeah.
Well, definitely we are taking that into consideration, Ms. Newton. And as all parents said, that it is a journey that will come to fruition. They have taken the first few steps. Let them learn to walk first before they run. As Ms. Anjali said that, she wasn't very convinced by whether the product would sell later or not.
Yeah, I told RAV, like, I think Sahaj has done some mistake because I think there are better options that you were telling me. And he was like, Mom, you are discouraging me. I am the prefect. I have won this thing. How can you discourage me? I'm like, I'm not discouraging you. I am just talking as a client. I mean, I have n number of questions. I asked him, why will I buy your product? I mean, I have so many online things. And he was trying to convince me, okay, I have this, I have that. But I'm a little critique. So, that's why I did not appreciate him.
I understand, Miss Anjali, but at the same time, you also missed on the fact that they had the best presentation. They did their work,
Yeah.
and they also had the best team collaboration. They had the most features on their website. So they are like, okay, that was one thing that it may or may not sell right now, but that is something that
Right.
they'll learn as it will go forward. So
Yeah.
as I said earlier, let them walk first, and then there'll be a time, of course, when they'll be running, right?
Sure. Thanks, Edge.
Yes. Thank you for that.
Awesome. Such great feedback from the parents, from the students. I'm loving all this. Anything else, Saj, that you want to add? Or any other parents have questions, comments, questions for our guest we have with us, Mr. Bahani? Anything about exam prep? Anything about um, studying, admissions? Yes, we have a hand from Nivid.
Yeah,
Nivid?
cool. Yeah, so like I said, I really wanna become a diplomat and stuff, and what I'm trying to study is either law or international relations. I was just thinking, what is the scope in India or in the US or anything abroad, like internationally?
For what?
International relations?
International relations is a field that will stay forever. I mean, the scope of the field is not going down anytime soon. I mean, you pursue, I mean, if you, let's say, picking a degree in that particular field, even, let's say, worst case, you're not able to clear the civils. You could still be a very good academic in that field. You could join some of those top-notch think tanks that advise ministries. So, I mean, the scope is there heavily. You could also, I mean, it's pretty wide. So it's actually a very, very good field if you ask.
So, what's the career scope in India? Because in India, it's really less. Because if you want to be a diplomat, you have to do the UPSC regardless. Um, as per the articles and the thing which I see, um, it's mainly they say diplomat and all of that, but I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, right now it is the UPSC. Look, there are multiple grades at which you can enter the Ministry of External Affairs, right? Which kind of mans uh, the missions and your embassies abroad. And people who get in through the Indian Foreign Service, they enter at a certain level. There are some other exams where you can probably enter at a lower level as well, and eventually work your way up. But that's going to be a much longer journey. If you want to become a diplomat right away in the IFS sense, then as of today, the civil services is the only way.
But you're saying that international relations has a really huge scope, right?
International relations as a field, yes. I mean, because you can either be at the heart of decision making in the ministry, or you can contribute to the decision making by staying in the academia, by being in the think tanks. by advising corporates who will then eventually lobby for their own interests, right? So you can be there anywhere. International relations is a field that is spread across.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great question. I saw we had a parent raise their hand. Miss Irvi, you're still with us?
Oh,
You're
yes, yes, yes. Hello. No, I just want to add as a parent, this is my first session with all of you, and it's been wonderful. But I would just like to add that we just need to trust the process and the platform and our kids as well. I agree with Brian. It's a journey. They are just learning, networking, and I think that are the skills going forward. And you never know what helps them on a later stage. It's just the idea that can get clicked, or they can learn something which can just take them a long way. So I'm looking forward to the journey, and I really appreciate the guest speaker. Was wonderful. All of your efforts. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely, absolutely
As
welcome.
parents, we are very anxious. We just need to get our anxiety a bit lower
Yeah.
and let the kids do their job, I would say. And I think they will, everything falls into place. It's just the time and learning. And learning is important as long as they are
Hmm.
learning and being connected with the right channels. I think that certainly they'll spark their way out going forward.
Hmm. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. All right. Any more parents have any more questions? I think we got, is that a thing agreement? A thumbs up. Is that a hand raise or a thumbs up, Newton? I think that was a thumbs up. Awesome. So for all the students in here, if you could mail your study plan to Sahaj there, if you could email him your study plan for him to review, he's going to drop his email in the chat in just a moment. So take note of that. If everyone could send over that to him, that would be perfect. There will also be some follow-up assignments coming throughout the week as well. We're going to be wrapping up shortly. If everyone could just give a shout out, a thank you for our guest we had today, Mr. Baharni. If we could all give him come off of mute, everyone come off of mute and let's give him a nice warm thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I hope it was useful.
Certainly was very useful. Thank you at the right time.
Awesome. Yes, thank you everybody. We have